Hello guys, it's Thomas and I am back playing more KSP. This time it's KSP Interstellar Part 7, I think. I'm hoping I'm right. And here you see the most energetic and quick and entertaining launch ever. Because look how quickly it's going. I mean, we're going at a whole, I think 3 meters per second, and half of that is in lateral velocity. So it's a little bit slow, but we skipped through a lot of that. So this craft is going to Duna, and I cut it down a lot because I just wanted to make this a quick little episode. I do 2 things in this episode. I launched 2 crafts, and I didn't get as much science as I wanted from this, so there's that. But I'm also trying to get as much science as possible. So here's my escape trajectory, starting the burn in about a second or so. There it is. It's a little bit big, but I have plenty of Delta V, and so I am fine. And so there, that stage is out. Switch out, stage, and go. Now we're on to the darkness of me finishing this burn. So yeah, pretty much it. I wonder what music I'm playing in the background for right now. Probably something by Incompetech, since I like to mix things up at least a little. So, correction burning. Making sure that I actually get inside the sphere of influence, which is usually a good thing. And finishing up that burn also. So, this craft has all the new science stuff that I have that I felt like putting on here. I don't know why I didn't put a magnetometer, whatever, on this craft. I don't know why, I just forgot to, I guess. But other than that, I have all the stuff I have on it. And you're about to see a close-up of this craft. And so I do another cut right here. And that cuts to where I am going very close to it. I am aero braking, even though the aero braking actually only slows it down a tiny little bit, actually. So it's not that really useful of an aero brake, even though the periapse is at about 5 kilometers, which is very low, but still not low enough to make much of a difference. So what I end up doing is just thrusting backwards and deploying the parachutes, because the parachutes are the thing that slowed me down from, orbital velocity to suborbital, and then to just to velocity, I don't know, to velocity where I'm going to go on the surface if I cut them. So you see those girders that I put on. I put them on for a couple of reasons. First of all, to help me stay stabilized in that direction, and second of all for structural means, because it was a bit floppy if I didn't have those on, saying the whole craft was really long. So now you just realize how mountainous it is near the poles. So about here I realized, yeah, if I didn't have these parachutes, if I was not planning to land, I would crash into the surface and still be traveling at orbital velocity. But as you see, I'm starting to slow down a little more. Just a little bit. Getting closer, not as close as I'd like, but about, still about 1.2 kilometers per second. Not kilometers per second, that would be fast. 1,200 meters per second. So doing science on the way down, that's a good thing. Deploying the parachutes, which are the thing that slowed me down for the most part. And I'm just thrusting now to get rid of that fuel and to make it sooner, because I did not need that fuel at all. So now, parachutes deployed, slowing down, still essentially traveling sideways, starting to turn back over though, and, well, just going in for a landing. And so I might as well talk about how much science I got. I think I got like 300 science, not enough for me to unlock too much stuff, but it was enough. And so I think my next mission is going to be back to the jewel system. I'm probably going to put a science module so I can enhance all the science I get there and all the samples and stuff, because that would probably be useful. And so, I don't know, going in for landing. Hopefully it'll be a fine one, even though I already know. You guys don't know, so it could explode for all you know. Or does it? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, you don't know. Well, obviously no, it does not explode. And I just adjust the parachutes because I do not want to have to wait this long for the whole way down, since I had them deploy at 5 kilometers high, just to slow me down, from traveling and exploding. Because if they deployed that far all the way down, like let's say at about 50 meters high, I would still be traveling a lot too fast. So just time accelerating, getting closer down, and we're almost there. Now, sadly, we landed on the side of a hill where we barely got any solar energy from our solar panels, but it didn't matter. Now we're thrusting a bit, but then in the end I ended up thrusting a bit too much, and well, we lost our parachutes. So that was kind of something that hindered me, but it wasn't a big deal. I just was under a thrusted landing then. So, slowly coming down, then thrusted a little bit too much last second and lose the parachutes, but it didn't matter. So now I'm slowly landing now, and I'm like, oh crap, I lost the parachutes, I better make this a good landing. Well, in the end I did, so I was perfectly fine. Then I did a bunch of science, which I cut out because that's all boring, and well, this is after I stopped sliding, but yeah, like now. And so we're back about now, now, to the other launch that we did. And this launch, I messed up on because I didn't have the staging quite correct. But other than that, it was a final launch. And, well, that thing at the top, those are helium tankers, essentially. And on top of those, which you can't see right now, well, kind of can, there's a reactor, some radiators, and on top of that, even farther up, there are two satellite dishes, which I talked about, I think, 2 episodes ago. Maybe 3, I don't remember. But they produce science per day, so I have 2 of them as of right now. And I put those into orbit with, I think, 8 or so, 6. Yeah, 6 canisters or so. And that means I'm going to get about 600 or so science from this, at a rate of 1 science per day. And so it's reasonable. It's not the best, it's not the worst, it's reasonable. And I'm back when I'm almost in an orbit. And then if you look closely, there's a docking port to it. So I end up adding a lot more fuel, a lot more reactors, and some more satellites. To the point where I'll probably get about 1,000 science from it. If I was, just wanting to wait, but I'm not going to, because that's kind of, cheatsy doodle-ish. And I'm going to boost this thing up into a higher orbit so I can time accelerate from it, because it's kind of annoying. But I don't do that anywhere in this episode, or even in the next, probably, because I've had so many failed attempts of doing it, it's just a pain for me to think about. So, almost in an orbit, well, not quite, I still have about 1 kilometer of delta V to burn out, but you get what I'm talking about. And I'm burning myself into the right perfect orbit, making sure it's actually really circular, even though that changes later, because when I was docking from this thing to another thing, the docking ship ran out of monopropellant, so I had to dock with the big main ship, which was a pain because it was so floppy and wiggly. But you see, burning exactly at apoaps, so it could be a perfect circle. And it's really close when it starts to wiggle like that. And so decouple from that, and it's all ready. Got plenty of energy, a little bit of waste heat, but it's all fine. And so we had plenty. Got 0.5 science per day for each of those. And that's actually kind of fine, And the time it takes for us to go to Joule or Elu, it would be all the way out of science. So here in a second you get to see me launching my secondary component for this ship, which is just a bunch more fuel than some monopropellant. And all these things took me so many tries to get right, because the phase angle and everything was wrong on a lot of it. So it was pretty much just a very big pain. And I think I'm going to leave you the rest of this episode with more of Incompetech music. So thank you for watching, leave a like or a favorite, and adios.